Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. Today is May 17th. Damn, my bad. And this is our eighth episode?
I think it's the eighth.
Yeah, guys, 8 episodes. So we've been doing this for 2 months now. Yeah, proud of how far we've come. Honestly, I'm really excited to talk about today's topic, and I hope you guys are as well. So yeah, without further ado, I'll let my friends introduce themselves.
Emilia.
What's up? It's Toast, and welcome back to our episode. Appreciate you guys for tuning in again, and I really can't wait to talk about what we're going to talk about today. Would you like to introduce the topic?
You can go ahead.
Oh, me? Okay, so today's topic, we're going to talk about mental health, and we're going to pretty much go deep in depth into a couple variety of things, subtopics regarding mental health, whether if it comes down to like our own personal experiences with mental health, coping mechanisms. What else was there?
How to maintain a positive mental health.
Okay, how to maintain positivity, and essentially, keep your mental health in check all around.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a variety of couple of things. I'm pretty sure we might get sidetracked too, overall. But yeah, this is gonna be a really good topic, and I think this might be a really long episode at that. Maybe just depending how like detailed we go into the episode. But hopefully, a lot of people ending up liking this, and hopefully, a lot of people can relate to it too. And on top of that, like I just think all around, hopefully, everybody can just relate. Cool.
This is actually one of the episodes that we first wanted to start off our podcast with, so this one was long overdue. But I'm happy we're finally doing it, and yeah, I guess we can start the podcast. I want to start off by defining mental health. If either of you want to define that for me first, or want me to?
You could define.
Okay, so mental health is a positive state of well-being. You're doing well mentally, and that also contributes to how you feel physically, and vice versa. And a positive sense of mental health includes, balancing your life out, time management, managing your emotions, expressing your emotions, and yeah, that's just a few things that define those terms.
I suck with mental health, so I'm like.
Am I trying to define it, or are we gonna go into detail about something?
Yeah, let's go into that.
Okay. What do we got first?
What do you do for your own mental health?
For me, I think one of the main big things that I like to do for my own mental health is first and foremost the gym. I think the gym is I think of it kind of like a sanctuary for me, and I really, as of right now, I mean, even though I haven't gotten this week, but that's the reason my mental is shit. But overall, the gym is like what keeps me sane. Like I like to go there and I get away, and for the most part, like half the time, I end up working out by myself, and I find a lot of comfort more in working out by myself. I like working out with my friends too, but overall, one thing that for me is like, I used to struggle with like going to the gym and pushing myself and motivating myself, and now I've gotten to a point where it's like I don't really need that form of push. But one thing, like for sure, it's gotten to a point now that like I kind of feel like out of place and out of my routine if I don't go to the gym, and I definitely think that kind of reflects back as to how I feel overall, because like right now I haven't gone to the gym since like last week, and honestly, I feel kind of burnt out and like mentally drained, and a good variety of other things kind of are coming into play with that. Definitely like revolving work but yeah, and overall like a couple of things I like to do too is like another really big thing for me is I'm like really big into music, and music really defines like what I listen to is definitely like another form of coping, I guess, in a sense that it definitely elevates my mood, and definitely like also helps me get in tune with my emotions as to like how I'm feeling overall, and definitely music can also make me feel better too at the same time. And I feel like even like listening to like sad, depressing music, that's also like another form of like comfort in its own manner too. Like listening to something that's super fucking depressing as fuck, and then I can like switch it around and go listen to like some upbeat shit, and I can feel like on top of the world. And overall, like music for sure has definitely been a big part of that. Also, and another thing too that like I haven't done in such a long time, not because I don't want to, I just think I definitely have been making excuses on its own manner too, as to why I haven't gone. But for sure, hiking has played a big part on my mental health, getting away, getting in tune with nature, and admiring nature overall, and appreciating it for sure has also been a really big key factor as to overall like just feeling better. I mean, for my own mental well-being, like another thing that I used to do too, not so often, but one thing I did start doing is, and it's been a while since I've done it, but while like I kind of wanted to mix up the hiking and instead of me like listening to music while I go hike, because I would go hiking by myself too, is like I would go and like listen to like an audiobook regarding like self-help or something regarding mental health or something. And then there was a moment too where I would like take a book out into like hiking, and it was nice to like get away and overall like just kind of something that I like doing, and also trying to find something like a new hobby, I guess, in a sense, revolving around reading, because I never really gotten into reading. And so as of lately, that's been something I've been trying to like better myself on. And I definitely think like reading like self-help books for me personally definitely also benefits me for regarding my mental health, because I think a good majority of the time like we all kind of struggle to like understand what's going on, and we all kind of struggle with like I used to ask myself like if something was fucking wrong with me and shit, and like I used to fucking feel crazy and fucking insane, and now like I mean I still feel the same fucking way, but now I just have a better understanding of it, and I have things that I can do for myself, and things that I can not necessarily say forget about it, but things that I know make me feel better and definitely help me get more in tune with it overall, at least for me personally. So
Nice, that was beautiful, bro.
well, thank you.
Thanks for going in depth.
Yeah.
Me, I suck with mental health or dealing with it, which is very interesting because I would consider myself to be very in tune with my emotions. I'm a very emotional person, so I feel like I should do a better job at like handling my mental health, just because I know like my emotions could get like really really intense sometimes. I just choose not to deal with them. I like try to block it out. But I would say going to the gym has helped a lot. If I'm really like going through it, I like to go by myself just so like I could like be in my own little zone. But sometimes I do enjoy like having friends with me there so like we could crack a few jokes. If you guys ever seen us at the gym, we're always like we're the loudest people in there. Just yeah, everyone's so like into the workout. Yeah,
So fucking see each other.
that ass. We'll be venting in there.
Yeah.
I think it's like, well, Ricardo, my counselor, has been trying to get me to meditate. I just can't get into meditating. Like that's just. Personally, I feel like it's just not for me. I know I need to try it, but I just feel like feel like meditate is just so awkward to me. But I have noticed that like when I'm going places, I tend to rush myself and like walk really really fast and just like I gotta do this, do that, you know, like have all this thing in my head. So what I did start doing is actually taking my time to like walk to places and like clear my head out and just like take the time to actually listening to whatever's around me. I've listened to so many birds now ever since I started doing that. Like, I never realized how, like, birds talk a lot. Yeah. Until, like, I started, like, actually just zoning out and, like, walking slow and just paying attention to everything, like, the, like, noises, the smell, like, everything like that. So I feel like that has probably helped me in terms of, like, mental health. But other than that, like, I don't hate reading, but when, like, I'd rather not read if I'm reading going through something. I do listen to like really like sad music when I'm like going through it also. Like I literally have a playlist called like Down Bad. Yeah, so like I like listen to it in my room with like the lights off. I'll have my little crying sesh because like I'm a very emotional person. So like for me, crying is just like a relief thing. And it's funny because I caught myself like I'll literally be crying my like eyes out. And then when I'm done, I'll like turn off the playlist and I'll go on YouTube and I'll just lay there and like ready to go to sleep. It sounds so psychotic.
It's like turn off the day.
I'm like, all right,
Turn it off
like,
for today.
yeah, like, all right, I'm
That's a
done.
good
Yeah,
call.
like, all right, I'm done. And it's crazy because I'll literally do that. Like, I'll be at school and I'm like, damn, like, I really just want to like break down right now. But I'll tell myself like, no, I'll cry like around 4 o'clock when I'm home.
Plan it out.
I literally planned this out, but I mean, I feel like that's how I deal with it. But I do agree. I feel like I need to do a better job at like finding more things to help me deal with it because I'm just
See a fucking therapist.
That's what I was telling her before we started.
Anyways, this isn't about me.
Okay. When it comes to my own mental health, I usually just I love to do the things that I love. I know sometimes when you get a little hopeless, feel helpless, or just straight up depressed, you start to lose that love for things that you enjoy, and getting up seems to be harder, like day by day. But when I take the time to do things that I love, it reminds me like, oh, like this life is worth living, which you can view as kind of sad, but like I like those moments. Like it's a moment of realization because we spend so much time just cruising through the day and just like forgetting to show a little bit of gratitude that like we are still here, even if it's a shitty situation. You're still here, you know. At the end of the day, I don't care if I have financial issues or any other kinds of issues in my life, any other drama. I'm happy that I have my health, my family is healthy, and that just keeps me at peace. And on my spare time lately, I like Emila mentioned, I do like to meditate from time to time. It's nice to have those moments of thoughtlessness. It's just really a relief, honestly. And like last week, I took myself on a little date. I went to Main Street, had some of my favorite restaurant, and then went thrifting after. And it's just small things like that just remind me to live again. Hiking, all that good stuff. Sometimes even going for a drive or a ride is just nice in itself. You get to listen to your music, be alone, and that's like the key thing. Like just enjoying those moments of solitude will remind you, like, this is a beautiful experience. So yeah.
He's like, let's go find the most beautiful patch of grass, and I'm like, I don't want to find a fucking patch of grass.
But then we do it and it's nice. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I needed this.
Laying grass touching grass isn't enough.
I need MDMA.
Yeah.
JK.
No, I'm not just kidding.
Actually, I'm not either. Okay, to follow that up, I want to talk about some stigmas surrounding mental health, and I'm telling you, this episode I really wanted to do because I see all the posts about it. I see it on Twitter. I see it on Instagram. Let's talk about mental health, or let's focus on your mental health. But a lot of people don't even know what the fuck mental health is. And then to follow that up, like, we just don't talk about it, like, in general, on your day-to-day life. We don't ask each other how we truly are. We kind of just, like, lie to each other. We're like, how are you? And you're like, good. Because, they probably don't care more about your day. Or maybe they do, but you're just not willing to share. So it just depends.
Yeah.
But one big stigma that's become a really big issue is toxic masculinity. And I know we've mentioned this in other episodes, but I want to go into depth a little bit more. And I think this will really hit home, especially with those of, like, descent of Hispanic descent, I guess, because we deal with so much of this. Like, machismo is like a really big thing in our culture, unfortunately. But yeah, do either of you want to mention a little bit about toxic masculinity? Any encounters with it in the past? Like,
Personally, for me, like, I mean, yeah, like, I saw it a lot in my family, but I've always been like that daughter that's like, like, I'm not gonna serve you. You better get your ass up. But honestly, I feel like personally, just me myself, I in a way like how, well, just like my dad in general, he we always known him to like be so closed out from like talking about like what's going on with like in his head. But like I would say lately, well, not lately, I feel like I've just always been that daughter that's like, so dad, like how are you doing, you know, like what are you feeling? And like throughout the years he like kind of started like opening up more, and I've seen it like not to be cocky or anything, but I feel like he only does it with me.
Yeah.
You know, like
Finds that comfort.
yeah, like I feel like I'm that comfort for him. So he'll literally tell me straight up like what's on his mind, and I'm just like, oh, okay, like I get you, and like no judgment at all. You know, even like with saying I love you, he would never say it back to me. Cause in his head it's like well, you know I love you. Why should I say it back? So like growing up, I'd always be like, say it back. And they'll be like, why? And I'm like, dude, just say it back. So like now it's like a mandatory thing. If I tell you I love you, you have to like he says it back no matter what, because he knows I'm just be bugging. But but I feel like I'm like that for my dad. I do see a lot of toxic masculinity though. But just in general, like I've just always been that daughter that I'm like I don't put up with it.
Why do you think men struggle so much, like, expressing their emotions?
Why do I think they struggle so much expressing their emotions?
Yeah.
I feel like it just has a lot to do with like how you grow up and like who you surround yourself with. Because even me, I feel like if I grew up with like my parents constantly telling me like not to show my emotions, or just kind of like putting me down if I were to say my emotions, even as like a woman, like I probably right now wouldn't be able to like express myself the way I do now. So I feel like it just has a lot to do with like how you grow up and who you surround yourself with, and if you feel that sense of comfort in expressing yourself like that. Because obviously if you don't feel this like that comfort like expressing yourself, you're not gonna want to like open up or like
Talk about it.
talk about it, you know.
Yeah. Thank you.
For me personally, I remember like even me myself, like I feel like I've been toxic. Now that I look,
know.
I think like a little bit more when I was younger, like back in high school for sure. Like I would be going through it. Like I remember I never talked about it because like I don't know, maybe because I felt like in that moment I was alone and I didn't have anybody that I can like be so open and talk about like how I was feeling. I don't know why, but like back in high school, like it's crazy to think, because like everybody would always see me and everybody would think like I'd be like the happiest person ever because I was so like really commonly known around the whole school, and everybody like
Like flex.
yeah, like flex. Yeah, I mean I didn't play all sports, but everybody fucking knew me. Yeah, everybody fucking knew me, and like and ultimately like I remember there was like two. Probably the last 3 years of high school, like sophomore year to senior year at that, like I remember like my sophomore year for sure, like age from 15 to 16, around that time frame, like I was just down bad depressed. Like I don't even know what I was depressed about. That's the thing. Like but I just know that my emotions were valid, and that's how I felt in that moment. And I felt so lost, and I felt really alone. Like nobody was there to like be there for me. And I guess like the toxic masculinity, to tie it in, was like me not wanting to be vocal about it and me not wanting to talk about it. But it was also because like growing up in my household, like we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't talk about how we felt. Like in no way am I like blaming my parents for that. Like I don't personally believe like they know any better, not to like put them down in that aspect. To them it's kind of like, oh, if you feel like bad, if you feel depressed or you feel sad, like I don't know, like fucking figure it out, I guess, in a sense, like, you know. And for sure, like I would not have felt comfortable opening up to my dad at all. Like he probably would have just told me like eventually it would go away or something, and that's just not exactly what happened. Like I probably felt like that for like a good 2-3 years, 4 years at that, and it was crazy because like it would happen for like a certain couple months, and then I would like tell myself that I no longer want to feel this way, that I'm gonna start doing things that I want to do to feel better and feel a lot more positive and happier, and I would do that, and then next thing you know I would fall right back into that same fucking hole. Like I would literally dig myself back into that hole, and it was like a reoccurring nonstop cycle. And the toxic part about it, I think, as to why it extended out for so long of a period of time, was me not wanting to be vocal about it, or like me not wanting to talk about it. And I had like so many like nights and with me like crying myself to sleep, and not that I'm like embarrassed to like admit that, but back then I was like, I would not want to tell anybody that I was fucking crying and like so sad and all this shit. And like, not because like, I don't know. I think personally, just in that moment, I probably did feel embarrassed, to be honest. And I think that came down to like who I was surrounding myself with at the time. And I just think like even the people I was surrounding myself with, like it wasn't normal to even like reach out to my friends to even talk about that either. And I will also admit, like maybe it could be just because of our age, I guess, in a sense. But to be honest with you, like as far as I know, and even like the people I surround myself with now, like we're all pretty mature for our age. Like, and I tend to get that a lot from like people that I meet through work and shit. But like overall, like yeah, I think like just in instances like that, like and throughout those moments, like I even got down to like a point where I remember I was doing good and I was doing okay, and then again that's the reoccurring cycle happened of me being back in that position and feeling that way. And I remember like it didn't hit me, because not once throughout that time did I ever think like, oh fuck, like this keeps happening, keeps happening to me. I was just kind of living my day-to-day life, and that I just thought that was normal, like for me to feel that way. And it didn't hit me or occur to me up until like I think like almost like my junior year or senior year of high school, that I remember I was texting Ty and our homie Square, and like I was actually being open up to them, because them two at the time were like the ones that I would feel comfortable with talking about these things. And it wasn't up until one day at Ty, like I'm not gonna lie, that day I was kind of upset at him for him to tell me that shit, but like it was true though. It was like a wake up call for me. And like I remember I was like telling them, and I remember Ty told me, he's all like, you know, this shit has been happening to you for like the past 2 fucking years, and you've been always telling me that you want better for yourself and all this shit, but you keep fucking coming back to the same fucking spot that you like. He wasn't being so aggressive about it, but that's how I took it. I took it really personal. I was like, oh fuck, my own fucking friend is calling me out on my shit right now. And like it wasn't like I didn't take it offensively. I think it was more of like him really helping out to the best of my brain can understand at that time. And that was like my first wake up call, that I was like, oh shit, like I have been doing this to myself. I have been doing this nonstop cycle, and like I just didn't know how to stop it. And definitely like me being a lot more communicative now today has definitely helped out a lot. And I'm very, very vocal, like how I feel. And even then, like I find comfort in telling people now, no. Like like if somebody wants to hang out with me, like I'll tell them straight up, no, I don't want to. Like, and I feel so good not even having to like feel that I need to give them a reason as to why. And I think that also comes down to the people that I'm surrounding myself with, that I can just proceed with answering in that manner, and I know that they're not going to take any offense to it, because I've met so many people that lack so much understanding as to taking no for an answer when it comes down to like me putting myself as a priority. And for the most part, when I'm referring to people on that aspect, I will say I'm referring to men for the most part, like people that, you know, want to hang out, like your homies or whatever, quote unquote, and people that invite you to go out and shit. And for the most part, like I'm pretty much referring 99% of the time, I'm referring to them, like and that, I think that's just tied in back to like the toxic masculinity aspect. And honestly, like for the most part, I don't surround myself with people like that anymore, and I feel really comfortable and kind of happy to say that out loud. But yeah, that was a huge ass rant. But
That was good.
cool. Thank you guys.
I don't know if this ties into toxic masculinity, but I would say I like how you brought up like how you start actually saying like not well like yeah it's how you feel, but like being more direct, because I think it's important for anybody, like everybody, to always say what the fuck is on your chest, like if something's bothering you, because you could either like keep that shit inside and eat you up, or you could like say it out loud and like just see where like shit goes. I think the thing with me personally is just like I'll keep things like to myself because I'm afraid of like the outcome or how like someone's going to react. But I think it's important to like everybody to know it's like you shouldn't be worrying about how other people are going to react, because if it's bothering you, it's bothering you. You should say something about it. If you don't want to hang out with someone, you don't want to hang out with someone. You know, it's like I've always been a people pleaser, so I'm learning how to like stop being less of a people pleaser and like learn how to please myself more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was beautiful from the both of you. You know, prioritize yourself. A lot of times you feel forced into like certain situations, and you should just be able to remember that at the end of the day, it's your life. You know, you're gonna be miserable if you go out, or you're gonna be happy, and you get to make those decisions. So just do what feels right for yourself.
I'm not laughing at Alex.
Yeah, we haven't been laughing at him.
It's just
But I know it looks like that.
Hi guys, back from our little break, and we're talking about mental health. And when you get to this healthy level of mental health, you start to realize some side effects. You know, like you're realizing your full potential. You know, you're realizing that you can do things, and you want to do things because you love them, and you're able to cope with the stresses of life, because life never gets easier. You know, you just get better at handling things and these curveballs, and you know the stress is always going to be there, but you'll get better at it. Another healthy sign is, you know, being able to work productively and time management and separating all these things from one another. And a really cool one that I like is, you know, you're able to be a contributing member to society. You know, you can make contributions to your community, help people around you, because if you're not in good mental well-being, you're probably not the best person suited to help others. And I found this out the hard way in the past. But yeah, now we're going to talk about coping mechanisms. There's good, positive coping mechanisms, and there's negative coping mechanisms. I know for myself, I've done both. Sometimes I could go for a run, listen to some music, and just cope in a healthy way. Let the blood flow, get some serotonin pumping up in there, like. But there's been the times where I'm like, damn, fuck this life. Like, I can't stand it. I need a drink. And I'll just go black out or something. And I realized this not too long ago, where, like, alcohol is, like, becoming a problem for me. Not too crazy. Well, I don't know, maybe. I guess it depends who you ask. But I didn't think it was too bad. But, yeah, like, we start to cope in different ways, and I'll let my friends talk more about the ways they've coped.
I'll let us go first because I'm doing something really quick.
Okay. I think personally, for me, the the good coping mechanisms for sure like revolve around the gym, going on a hike for sure. Like for me, eating healthy, like we don't even take that into consideration. Like what we put in our body, like want to nourish our body, we want to treat our body good, and even just eating a good meal overall, like personally I find like stimulating positively. And so that would be like another good thing. Not that I do it all the time, but when I do, serotonin's through the roof, like especially having a really good nice meal and going out and like eating really good food. But when we put like even like a bad coping mechanism for me, like is eating fucking junk food, like eating when I'm not like hungry but I'm bored or something, or like I'm feeling like really like antsy and like a little bit of anxiety, or like feeling like a little bit down, or I wouldn't say depressed, but just feeling like down or sad overall, like I tend to like resort to food too, and I like will stuff myself with food, and it's not always the like healthiest thing. But one thing I have been doing is like I'm been a little bit more smart about it, and I like have been working on not doing that. And overall, like I'm a little bit more proud of myself because I actually have like a really really good like good habit of like stopping myself from doing so. So that's another thing. But for sure, like to add into what Ty was saying, like the alcohol for sure like is a horrible coping mechanism, because like I'll be the first to admit, like ever since like the past 2-3 years, like alcohol has become a really big part of my life, and pretty sure of our lives, like like who's this we? But yeah, like alcohol has been like really really bad coping mechanism. Like half the time throughout, like when the pandemic started, like we literally were drinking like every fucking week, and it wasn't even to like, yeah, we would have fun, but like we were all fucking down bad. Like we were just like,
Yeah.
we were just tired of it, and like going through everything, and yeah, we were really like resorted to alcohol and liquor, and even then, like as of recently too, like not gonna lie, we've had some irrational, like I wouldn't even say spontaneous like times, but like just irrational like random moments where we're just like we drop what we're doing and we go out and fucking drink, and like we black out or whatever. Like it's been a really really bad problem, and I will say like the past month or two I've done a little bit of a better job overall on that, because this is fairly recent, but I just been a little more smarter about like how I want to drink, and I don't like that feeling of like blacking out anymore. Like it's cool to drink to have fun, but you have to know your limits, and trust me, I know my limits now. Like we could drink. I'm not happy about it though. I'm not proud of it, but yeah, like for sure alcohol is a bad coping mechanism, and even drugs, like smoking cigarettes, like smoking cigarettes, and like I wouldn't like put only reason I bring up weed is because I have met people before in the past that do weed because they're feeling down, and I put quotes on that, like they smoke and stuff, but it's because they're feeling like depressed or whatever. Like it's not even to diminish it in its own manner, but like don't get me wrong, weed has its own good healthy benefits overall, but I only bring it up again just because I've met people before in the past that like say they feel depressed or whatever and they smoke weed. So it's also a really bad coping mechanism, and I don't see it's a good and a bad thing. But I was gonna bring up mushrooms. For sure.
That's not me.
That's crazy.
I only bring it up because I think mushrooms have like their own, for sure, like good medicinal purposes like when it comes down on that, and definitely helps out on your state of being and your mental health overall. You get really in tune and you find out a lot of things about yourself. The bad coping mechanism is doing them so many times. But yeah, overall that's probably my own input on that end, but for sure.
I would say when I was younger, I did use marijuana a lot for my coping mechanism, but now that I'm older, if I'm feeling down, I don't like to smoke, because then I feel like literally like a drug addict for some reason. Like I don't like that feeling of like knowing that I'm down and I'm doing these things. I have never participated in the drinking coping mechanism because I have always been DD.
Thank you for supporting it.
Way to support my bad habit.
I would say a good mechanism that I have when it comes to coping, I laugh a lot. No matter the situation, I'll laugh. Like I'll give out a little giggle. That's just like how I cope. If I'm like in an uncomfortable situation, I'll do my uncomfortable laugh. my little giggle. If I'm mad, I'll do like my mad giggle.
What's the mad giggle sound like?
Yeah, what is my mad giggle? I feel like Alex knows.
I just gotta hear it, but I can tell.
Oh, you could tell?
Yeah, I can
Yeah, I'll be like,
I'm like, oh, she ain't happy.
I'm like, oh, that. Oh, nah, I'll be like, oh, that's funny. Or like, yeah.
Fake as fuck, huh?
It's funny because the madder you are, the more you smile. Like,
Okay, so I guess if I'm really mad, I'm gonna be having a big old cheeser. But I have noticed that, like, if I'm mad, like, I'll laugh. If I'm like, I'll have different laughs for different situations. And it's funny because Daisy and Ricardo called it out last time. How they even caught on to like my different types of laughs, and I'm like, that's crazy, that's fucked up. Probably people know me like this.
psychoanalyzing.
Yeah, fucking psychology majors, huh? I would say though, like a bad coping mechanism. I just shut down. Like I'll literally just like go MIA on everybody.
Forgot to mention that one.
Yeah,
Forgot
like
to mention that one.
like I would say I was pretty down like two weeks ago, and I would literally just come home and just like lock my room and just like be in there. I like not talk to anybody. I like cut conversations short, and just keep to myself. Shut the world out. Not answer anybody. Not answer any calls or texts or just. I would say that's bad just because like I'm pushing myself away. I mean, maybe for the moment I do need it, but I would say it's just bad in the moment because I let myself get into like this weird dark place. Damn, I sound psychotic, huh?
I think a lot of people can relate.
Okay. I was like, damn, I sound psychotic. Like, she laughs when she's mad. And then she shuts everyone down.
Psychoanalysis.
I'm the Joker.
But yeah, those are my coping mechanisms. Yeah.
Yeah, in the past, I've coped a lot with weed and alcohol, which I'm not proud of at all. Like, especially like Toe said during the panty. Yeah, we were drinking all the time. I was high like for like a year or two straight maybe. And it wasn't until like very recently, like I just catch on and I'm like, okay, let's slow down. Like, let's treat your body a little better. Let's ease up on these things. Like, being drunk doesn't feel as nice anymore. Like, especially the hangovers. Maybe we're just getting older too.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind we're only 22, guys.
Chill, bro. It's been a year.
Yeah.
It's been a year since we've been out in public bars.
It's been a long ass year though.
It has been.
We made that year so worth it.
It's been an extensive.
I was literally telling Ness today. I was like, dude, we were literally at Beach Club every freaking weekend.
Dude, yeah.
And now I'm like, I can't. I'm still recovering from like 2 weekends ago.
The crazy part about it is, I was gonna say we, but I would. I would justify the tab.
Fuck.
Of how much money I would spend at the bar. I would justify it.
Toast would literally be at the bar like, it's on me. And I'm looking
And
at
he's,
him
like,
like,
blacked out, too.
yeah. And he's all like, we have a video of him going like, bro, I pay. Every time I come out, I fucking pay. If you want to fucking hang out with me, come out, hang out with me. I'll pay for everything.
What's fucked up is everybody took advantage of me too.
Nah,
one-
first of all, I was DD, so
no one
I
blacked out.
didn't take advantage of it.
That's what I'm going on.
Just like, you were just...
Stay my ass home.
Augie earlier, you're like, yo, let's go grab a drink.
I'll get that food truck.
Nah, I don't want to get
That apple.
I don't know. I'm not opposed, but whatever.
I will say, a beer sounds nice.
Yeah, you know, cold one.
Just like,
You know what?
take some beer, that's it.
That's funny. We're at the bar and like we're just like acting like we're getting our wallets.
Just waiting for somebody to put It's like, alright, who's paying?
Oh my god, there's 7 drinks on there.
It's like that my wallet's like somewhere and you're just like slowly pulling it out.
Taking your street outside. Ah, my wallet. Fuck, it's in the car. It's a fucking $20 tab.
Knowing damn well we got our IDs on us and everything. Okay, that was a fun rant. Next big thing, a contributor to mental health is your sleep. Like, you guys don't fucking know how important your sleep is. Like, you gotta get 8 hours. You can't get less than that. You can't get more than that. And
Damn, I gotta be up. Take me home.
But I know it's hard. Like, I know it's really hard to get those 8 hours. I, for the past year, on average, slept 2 to 4 hours a night, which is fucking horrible. Like, I see why I was in a shitty mood, or why I felt crazy. Like, it all makes so much sense when you start to piece it all together. You're like, yeah, maybe I should get some help. So,
Maybe I should see a
yeah,
therapist.
and I did get some help. I went to a psychiatrist. I'm on medications for my bipolar disorder, which I mentioned in another episode. And yeah, I feel like a little more human now. Like, you know, like I'm like, this is kind of nice. Like,
feel sane.
yeah, I feel sane as fuck. But sometimes I still feel insane. But yeah,
So serious? Fucking joke.
but yeah. Talk about your sleeping schedule. Like, is it good? Do you feel like sleep helps you? Yeah.
Honestly, ever since I started taking ashwagandha,
Yeah.
my sleeping has been pretty like cool. This past week that I stopped taking it, the anxiety came back, so it does take longer for me to sleep. So I need to get back on that. But yeah, Alex recommended some ashwagandha.
Yeah, this is like our third episode that we mentioned ashwagandha.
Oh,
And
really?
We're not even sponsored. Like,
Yeah.
we should get sponsored though.
Ashwagandha, fucking sponsor us, man.
Yeah, please.
But this is my first time realizing that we mentioned ashwagandha before. But it actually really helps. I would say that. But before that, my sleeping schedule was kind of like messed up. Like, I would be up till like 12 a.m. or I would like go to sleep and I'll wake up at 2 a.m. and then go back to sleep, wake up at 4 a.m. Or my anxiety would just keep me up, or I just find it so awkward just like laying in bed in the dark waiting for myself to go to sleep. So I do have to sleep with background noise, but even then, like, it's just so awkward, like just waiting.
Background noise.
Like the TV, like I need the, like the
okay.
TV, or even like even if
I thought like rain sounds or something.
no, like that bothers me. Is that weird? Yeah,
Like,
I don't find peace in like the ocean waves or like, you know.
My mom would turn that shit on. I'm like, Mom, what the fuck?
Yeah, like
That shit off.
I need some novela in the background or like
Yeah.
YouTube video in the background.
Yeah.
Because other than that, I'm like, it just bothers me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But I would say now my sleeping schedule, I don't know, it's kind of mid, I guess.
Mid?
Yeah, it's mid.
Okay.
My
That's how I describe it.
my anxiety came back, so I don't know.
Fuck. I think my sleeping schedule, I kind of have like a routine sleeping schedule. At least I try to keep it consistent. I would say more or less like every day I'm probably going to sleep by like 10 if I can. If not, like pushing at 11. And then as of recently, it's been kind of like extensive a little bit more to like 11:30, maybe midnight. But not like every day. Like more than likely, like on average, for the past year, like I'm gonna sleep by 10 or 11, like on the days that I work. And I would say, as much as I hate working, like it's helped keep me in a routine sleep schedule. So every day, like I'm up by 6 or 6:30 in the morning, and even on the days that I don't work, like I find more often than not that like I still find comfort in waking up that early. And sometimes I do get a full 8 hours of sleep, but sometimes I don't. Like, and honestly, like I know he says you should get your 8 hours, but I mean for me, like I'm okay with 6 or 7. I think bare minimum 6. Like for me, that's okay. Like I can push through my day and I feel fine. But on average, I probably get 6 to 7 hours of sleep. And so yeah, like every day I'm up by 6:30, and I find it so like healthy and to be up that early. And I will say, like on the days that I don't have to go into work or anything like that, like I'll sleep in, and sleeping in for me is like sleeping till like 7:30. Like that's probably like my sleeping in, and then I'll get like my 7 to 8 hours for sure. But that's like my sleeping schedule, and I've maintained it pretty good. And I like before in the past, like a coping mechanism for me would be like smoking weed before going to bed, and taking edibles and shit, and just like anything to like help me knock out, because I would struggle to sleep. Cause my mind would be racing. Like I would just be up, like just fucking thinking about everything, like overthinking. Like I used to overthink like fucking crazy before going to sleep, and I'd be making up fake ass scenarios in my head, like of fucking nothing. Like there was nothing to be stressing about or worried about, and I'd be tripping on like my friends or whatever. Like I'd be tripping on like I'd be tripping on my friends like when I'd hang out with them and I come home and like it's time like I'll go to bed or whatever and I'd be thinking about like things that I said or the way I acted or whatever and I'd be like, oh, I wonder if that bothered them or something. Like I would just be thinking like crazy, making up fake ass scenarios, and then I'd be tripping. I'd be like, "Fuck, man, maybe they do hate me, or maybe I'm like it was just bad." So, but overall, like yeah, I used to like hit my stizzy before going to bed or taking edibles, and then I was like, all right, I gotta stop doing this shit because first of all, it was getting expensive, and then I was like, fast, fuck this. So then I started like taking melatonin, and melatonin actually really helps. Like pop like 4 or 5 of those motherfuckers and boom, lights out. Like yeah.
Don't try this out.
Yeah, I mean melatonin's really good. It's just
You're not supposed to take 4 or 5.
I don't give a fuck. If they're 5 milligrams, take them. Yeah, if they're 5 milligrams, like I think that's like nothing. Cause I used to do like 10 milligrams in total, and it wouldn't do shit for me. So it just takes a little bit more for me to actually fall asleep. But yeah, but background noise for me, like I just need to be playing music. Like I can't fall asleep without playing music. Playing music is like I need to do it. Like I need to be playing fucking music before I go to sleep. Like doesn't matter if I'm home, doesn't matter if I'm in a fucking different state, doesn't matter anywhere. Like I'm playing music before going to bed, and it's funny because like you just hear that shit playing like when the house is all quiet, you just hear my room playing music. So for sure music is like a big part of my life.
Nice. Thank you guys.
Wait.
Go for it.
This is off topic, but tell me why these fools will not talk on the group chat the whole fucking day.
Be active as fuck.
Hold the fuck up. And I have them muted the whole day. And at night I'm like, let me unmute them, like, just in case. And then tell me why when I'm about to go to sleep, all I hear is ding, 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 ding. I'm like, all of a sudden they want to be active right now.
You know what's funny? It's like that's your fucking fault. I have like my fucking phone. That shit's on silent. Like I can't remember the last time I've left my phone on like the ringer like on throughout the whole day. When I'm expecting like something important, I guess like a message from somebody or a phone call, like I'll turn the ringer on. That way I for sure don't miss it. But other than that, like 99% of the fucking time, like my phone's on silent or on do not disturb. Like I won't read your fucking message or whatever. But like I don't know why the fuck would you have the ringer on? Like that's a maniac shit having the ringer, and then all you hear is the ding, the fucking loud ass ringer. At least make the ringtone nice. Fuck, maybe it might be a little more soothing.
Even that on vibrate, like.
I need my ringer on for personal reasons.
Okay, sorry.
Shut that shit on vibrate.
I ain't missing no calls.
Oh yeah. So I want to talk about like what affects our personal mental health, and goes.
You motherfuckers. You're pissing me the fuck off tonight. Like, the fuck are they whispering for? They talking
She's
shit.
making up fake scenarios in her head.
Scenarios in her head. Yeah.
I need therapy.
Yeah, you be overthinking.
I go up to Ty and I'd be like, and then you'd be like, what the fuck you say? It's like, fucking say it, pussy. What the fuck?
And I can't tell if she's being sarcastic or mad sometimes.
Nah, she's serious.
Yeah,
I know she's serious.
Yeah, she's serious.
I know she's fucking serious.
But
Because then I get all quiet, huh?
It's like, damn.
she's like fighting us in her head.
Yeah.
I am, bro.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, so what affects our mental health? One big thing for me is just worrying about my family. I worry about my family a lot for reasons that I just don't want to talk about right now. But financial stability is another big one. School, work. I feel like I spend a lot of most of my time doing things I don't enjoy, as opposed to doing things I should be doing, like that make me happy or that I love. And I feel like that gives me a really big feeling of existential dread, and it just sucks, I've dealt with like suicidal tendencies and thoughts in the past before, and it's just it's just hard, you know. It's also hard to be open up about it. Like, I know with my friends, I'm comfortable enough to just like talk about it, but like it sucks with your family, cause I think we've mentioned this expression before, but like just feeling like you're living with strangers, or like you are the stranger, and like you're not, you like the people around you closest to you don't know what's going on in your head. It took me a while to open up to my parents about like me and being bipolar, and when I told my mom, I didn't get the reaction I thought I would. Like I thought she might have taken it a little more serious, but she didn't. Like it's kind of just more of a playful thing to her, and I don't blame her or anything. You know, we were just raised different, and you know, I still appreciate that she listened and heard me out, but it makes it hard, you know, to want to open up about these things, and I just want to encourage people to do the opposite, even if it does seem hard. Like, open up. People are willing to hear you, especially like people close to you and those systems of support. Like, they will be there for you as best as they can. Granted, only you can do things for yourself and change your life. Just count on people. Sometimes they are good and they want the best for you. So, yeah.
Honestly, just everybody. Like, I just get easily triggered, but I'm working on it.
What do you do to work on it?
Huh?
What do you do to work on it?
I ignore it. Just kidding. No, it's just like I have little pep talks in my head. I'm just like, damn, you're overreacting, you know,
Yeah.
or I'll react and then afterwards I'm like, I shouldn't have acted like that, or like I shouldn't have thought about that. So then like I calm myself down.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like I'm just, again, like I'm so in tune with my emotions that I let my emotions get the best of me sometimes, and I'm working on that.
Okay. I'm glad.
Thank you.
I think.
I was about to go off.
You know my homie thinks.
It's funny. I wasn't even thinking of like a long, crazy answer. I was thinking of something so short. I was gonna pass it back right away. I was just gonna say, I really liked what you said. Like, more often than not, you find yourself doing things that you don't like doing, and I completely agree. Like, I fucking hate working. I'm sick and tired of it. Like, fuck. Like, it just like, it literally annoys me so much that, like, at least in my job, like, as much as people that I work with like express that they dislike the job or that they hate it or whatever, like, I just don't think they understand the level of like how much I truly like just dislike it, and I like completely hate it, and I have to like fake it so much that I just want to, that I have to be there, that I want to be there, I guess, in a sense, just to collect my bag. Like, it's like such a shame, and that's one thing I really want to sway away from moving forward, and I don't want to do that anymore. Like, I really like just want to do something that I really love doing, and ultimately, like, for me, like, I just want to experience like as much as I can in this world. Like, for sure, like, I would say when it comes down to like the thoughts that you guys are saying, like when you be thinking about shit, like, I pretty much go through like my entire day not thinking about it, not because I don't want to. It's more of like, I feel like I've gotten to a point in my life right now where I'm kind of like somewhat at peace with myself, that like I don't be tripping on nothing, at least like not half, more than half the time I don't be tripping on anything, like, and like it's been like a lot more healthier for me, because I used to, I think like it got to a point like a year ago or two, I think like 2 years ago, where like I had gained weight, and then I completely like lost it drastically because I wasn't eating. Like, felt like a little anorexic, to be honest with you. And I remember one time I went to Ty's house, and his mom like offered me something to eat because she felt bad. She thought I was anorexic or something, and like because she noticed like how drastically like skinnier I looked, and like she always offers me food, but yeah, like it got to a point that she like asked me one day if I was genuinely okay. And like I told her I wasn't. but like yeah, I mean, I don't even know what the fuck I answered right now, but that was just something that was on my mind. And I kind of just wanted to, that's how I responded. And yeah, I mean, what was it? What do we do for our own mental health? I think overall, no.
Well, before that,
Uh-huh.
no, my bad.
I don't know.
I just want to talk a little about dissociation and like
Oh,
because it's not something that I've exactly experienced,
Uh-huh.
or at least I'm not sure, so I wouldn't want to spread misinformation. But I've
Yeah.
talked to the two of you, and you've had experiences, and I want you guys to just talk a little about that. Like, I know a lot of people, and maybe like some of our audience members go through that. So,
Yeah.
just-
I remember last year, like the beginning of last year, and the only like memory that I have that like makes me have a better understanding of that it was actually happening is one day I was at work and I was like talking to Leilani and Miguel at work, and like even looking back at it now, like that wasn't me. Like I can't like fully fathom or remember like that time in my life, like of what was going on. And it sounds like so fucking weird just even explaining it. Like I never felt like I was there in that moment. I was doing the things that I was doing, but I felt like I was just, I don't know, my mind was somewhere else. And even now, like, don't get me wrong, I say like I'm mentally over here or whatever, but no, in that fucking moment, like I was mentally somewhere else. Like I don't remember that little time in my life. And I remember like I would be tripping, like I would like, it got to a point that I was like kind of becoming a little bit more self-aware. And I remember I started Googling shit, and I was like, what the fuck is going on with me? Because I thought I was fucking crazy. But like, I just thought it was normal too at the same time. And I remember like, I finally stumbled across like derealization and disassociation, those concepts. And just reading up on them like really tied in like as to what was going on, and I had a better understanding overall like of how I was feeling without like actually knowing it at the time. Because now that I look back on it, I'm like, oh fuck, like I really wasn't there. Like I don't know, I just felt really, just in the term itself, I felt disassociated from the world. I didn't really talk to many people, and I really would like distance myself from a lot of people too. Like even like my close friends, like I would be vocal about like that I felt off, but I wasn't too sure like what was wrong with me. And it wasn't even that I felt sad. I didn't feel like depressed. I didn't feel happy. I didn't even feel content. I just felt like numb. I felt like nothing. That's probably like the best way to describe it for me. Like how, looking back on it. And it could be that I have like a very, very other like more to add to it, but I can't think of it right now. But overall, like that was my experience. I remember just like, it was kind of just like waking up, going to fucking work, and coming home, and that's it. Like a non-stop repetitive cycle. And yeah, I don't know. Like even, I don't know. I don't even think I described it very good for like others to understand, but that's probably like the best though that I can word it, at least for my own personal experience. Yeah.
So like a Squidward episode when he's
okay, yeah, that
Yeah.
There you go. That's definitely perfect.
Oh, it's like
that's
changing
good episode.
Yeah.
That's good episode where he goes to like that community,
Yeah.
and he's like constantly in that cycle of like
autopilot.
where he starts like happy and then he just becomes like super sad, and like it's because he catches himself like being in like a non-stop repetitive cycle of
Yeah.
like nothing. Like it's what he thought he was dreaming of, that he wanted, but he didn't want that. Yeah, that's good. That SpongeBob episode,
Hit different. Huh?
Nickelodeon was on something on that one. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like that's definitely a perfect example of like of disassociation, at least in my opinion. I think that definitely like describes it. And I've seen actually other people like on Twitter in specific that have posted that
Yeah.
specific scene and talked about it, and that's like perfect depiction of like that in particular. Yeah.
Amazing analogy. Good.
Yeah, that's a perfect analogy.
I feel like I felt like that more probably like 2 to 3 years ago, where like I don't know, where I just like I don't know if I snapped out of it, cause I don't even know how the fuck like I came to just be like, damn, like what am I doing with my life,
I feel that.
you know, or
Yeah.
just like, damn, like all these years went by and I'm like, and I've just been doing this,
Yeah.
and like, and it was like a moment of like processing like the past years, and I was like, damn, like what the fuck did I do for myself, you know, or just like, is this really what I wanted, or like, you know, like am I really gonna do this for the rest of my life? So I feel like maybe like 2 to 3 years ago, or even within the time frame of 4 years ago, for the 3 years, I was in that kind of zone of just like how you explained it, like you were happy, you think this is what you wanted, and then after a while you're like, wait, what the fuck, like what am I doing, you know? I feel like now, in terms of dissociation, I felt that like probably like a month or two ago, where I just felt like it was just so repetitive, like, and it, which I think this is why it's important for at least like do something different that you don't do like the day before, just so like you won't feel like you're in this daily routine. But I just like caught myself like kind of like getting into that again, but this time it was just like more for myself, like more of like my kind of like fault, because you know it was just my own routine now. So I did start doing like each day, like I'll probably like do something different that I didn't do the day before, whether it be like relax or not feel so like quick to like come home, do homework, or you know, like what am I gonna do when I get home, like what do I need to finish. It's more of like I'll take like 2 days out of the week, or maybe like 3, to just like come home and just relax, just chill, like let my mind be blank for a while instead of having to like have this routine constantly, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's dissociation for me.
I was gonna say I don't think I ever realized the moment that I kind of snapped out of it. I feel like I kind of just transitioned. I don't know. That's probably like the best way for me to word it.
Was that like an ugly feeling?
Just like, what the fuck?
Or no opinion on it? Just
I don't take any opinion on it. No.
just happened?
Yeah. I think like now I'm just like so self-aware. Like I'm at peace with everything. Like
It's like when people ask you like, so what changed?
it's like fuck. I don't fucking know nothing.
Know what changed.
Yeah.
I just snapped the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want this.
Yeah. Like
I need to do something.
I just don't think I can like recall like, oh, like one day I just like boom, I felt different, or like boom, I was self-aware about like what was going on or anything. So yeah, I think even more as like a transition period, and now I'm here. Yeah, I'm here now. I'm here in the moment.
Sounds so zen.
Yeah.
Alright, and now to head to like the finale segment part of our podcast. We just want to talk about ways to maintain a positive sense of mental health. And I want to know what you guys do, or what brings you back, you know, from those depressive episodes, or like those feelings of anxiety. Like what really helps with that. And I know we kind of touched up on it with coping,
Yeah.
but I feel like we can go a little deeper here.
Personally, for me, it's just always staying true to like who I am and what I truly think, like my opinions, or like what I believe in, because I feel like mental health, other people do trigger it a lot for you, and I think you shouldn't be in this place of like because I see like helping others. I feel like a lot of people are so stuck in this process of like, well, they fucked me over, I'm gonna fuck them over back like 10 times harder. But I feel like that really fucks with your mental health sometimes, because it's just like, that's, if you know that's not you, why are you gonna do it, you know? Like,
And it's draining.
it's
right?
draining,
To have that kind of
like,
energy.
yeah, like
Yeah.
to constantly be like, well, I'm gonna get my lick back, or like, oh, I'm gonna like hit them 10 times. Or like, I'm gonna just come at them like 10 times harder. Like, no, like, if that's not you, that's not fucking you. If you're not used to fucking people over, like, why the fuck are you gonna start now? Like, that's just gonna fuck with you. So like, honestly, like now I'm just like, man, if you're like, it's not, well, I don't think anybody's treating me like shit right now, but like if someone pisses me off, like then they piss me off, like cut them the fuck off, or just like
Making the gun about that. Fuck them. Just kidding.
Cut them the fuck off and disappear.
Fucking end them.
Which we do not encourage.
Oh fuck. That was a joke. It was a joke.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
I'm
That's
just
funny, though.
kidding.
Imagine if this was audio, bro. People wouldn't have seen that. It was just audio. Good thing we got video too now. Fuck. That'd have been funny as fuck.
No, for real. So like honest, just always stay true to yourself, you know. Love hard if you're gonna love, if that's you, you know, like don't let other people's emotions stop you from like being who you are. If you're gonna hate them, then hate them, but like move the fuck on, you know. Just let them do whatever the fuck they're about to do. You can't change anybody. You can't force anybody to understand like the way you're feeling. You could like talk to them about it, but if at the end of the day they're not gonna put in the effort to like actually hear you out, then there's not much you could do about it. You know, just always stay true to yourself.
Yeah. I agree.
Hopefully so.
Yeah. I was gonna say, for me, personally, definitely staying positive, like as fucking hard as it can be, fucking draining as it could fucking be.
Fucking horrible.
It's, I think like being optimistic and having like some form of hope is definitely what keeps me going, and definitely helps like give me like a friendly reminder, like there's always gonna be something better for me, like there's always gonna be a better feeling of compared to if I'm feeling down or whatever, you know. And again, as mentally fucking draining as it could be to stay positive, you kind of have to, like if you fucking don't, you're just gonna lose yourself, and you're probably gonna fall. I mean, for me personally, in the past, I fell into like a fucking deep depression, like, and I can't fathom that feeling of feeling like that anymore for a constant amount of time, like I'm talking 4 or 5 years of my life, and I can't fathom that anymore. Like I just can't wrap my head around about feeling that way. And I've had moments where like I'm surrounded with myself with people, even the people that I love, like I'm surrounding myself sometimes with, you know, good people, good energy, but every now and then like I have to remind myself that everybody's a little bit different. And as much as like I don't care about so many things, I don't care about what people have to say about me, I don't care about anything, like I don't, like people don't offend me, like I have any hate in my heart, like I have to remind myself people are a little bit different, and some people do care, some people do get offended, and like I just like I tell them like, yo, like it's not that big of a deal, like it's literally like we move on. As soon as you can find peace with yourself and knowing that like whatever the fuck it is that other people have to say, whether if it's bad or negative, like it doesn't fucking matter, like who gives a fuck, like and so that's where the staying positive aspect for me like comes into like, again, as mentally draining as it could be, you have to have some form of sense of hope, whether if it's for you, whether if it's for your family, for your loved ones, like you have to stay positive, because the way I see it is like, at least like for me personally, like I feel like I have to be that person in my family. I feel like I have to be that person in my friend group, even as like negative as I can be sometimes, just because like I can like I see the ugly in the world. I see the ugly in the world too. Like I feel like I just have to be somewhat positive. But yeah, for sure. I think like another main thing is just surrounding myself with good people, spreading nothing but love. Fuck all that hate. Like just surround yourself with good people, good energy, lots of love, spread love, and I think like good things what I would hope would happen. I would hope so, yeah. But I do know that the world can be kind of ugly, and there definitely are some shitty people out there, and that's where like you kind of also have to just remind yourself that you can't expect anything from everybody, and you can't rely on anybody either at the same time too. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have to add on that. But yeah.
Beautifully said from the two of you. Yeah, just you gotta stay hopeful, guys. Like Joe said, like it's dreadful sometimes, but just have hope for something. Like, for me, I just kind of trust that things are gonna go well. Like, I know something good's gonna happen. I know that I'm gonna keep fighting this fight because I'm making it worth it, and I'm proving that. I'm proving that. Oh, myself, man, my brain. But yeah, just, take care of yourselves, guys. Like, I mean that, like, in the most sincere way possible. Like, I don't say it lightly. Like, actually do take care of yourself physically, mentally. Like, watch out for the signs. Pay attention to your emotions. Like, how do you feel? Like, ask yourself these questions because you are worth listening to. Like, you are worth taking care of yourself. So, yeah, just, I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. Get professional help if you really do need it. Like, we
Might
can.
have hit a better help to sponsor me.
But, yeah, guys, I'm really happy we did this episode. It was overdue, but I'm grateful we did it now, and I'm proud of this. And yeah.
Why straight to me? This is a really good episode. It's probably our longest episode.
Yeah.
And I hope, who knows, maybe in the future we might have a longer episode. Nah, just kidding. Honestly, I don't care. I don't really care how long they get, but this is a really long episode.
Yeah.
But I think it was very, very good, and we went on huge rants. I went on huge rants, fuck. But I really hope people appreciate it. To be honest, yeah, fuck yeah. I think I cuss a lot so much. I keep saying fuck too many times, but I did cuss a little. I don't want to do that. But yeah, thanks guys for hearing our episode out. Share with your friends. Shout out to Augie for recording this again for us, and ultimately we appreciate him for sure. And
Come up here, Augie. Promote the brand real quick, bro.
promote your brand. We got
Once again.
once again.
Oh, always repping the stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, show 'em the back. Show 'em the back.
Can they see it?
Hell yeah. Next big thing out of Oxnard.
Hell yeah.
Make sure you guys go support. I got a giveaway going right now. Go enter, go get some free shit. It's lit, you know what I mean? That's all I gotta say.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Thanks for coming in. Little cameo. What you gotta say to Amelia?
Wait, please don't forget my bucket hat next time.
Oh fuck.
Oh, wait, no, but yeah. I don't know. I don't feel awkward when talking about mental health, but I'm just like, oh man.
Yeah. Thanks for opening up.
I will say, I got to a point in my life where like I feel so comfortable talking about it, but I will also say that like I have come across people that it's just kind of like, all right, I don't want to talk about this shit with you because you're just so close-minded and so fucking like closed off that like no matter what I say, even if you're asking me for advice or asking me for my opinion or anything like that, it's like you're not gonna take it and it's gonna go out one ear and not the other. And honestly, that's a waste of energy and waste of time for me personally. And one thing I've really have taken the time, at least for myself, to realize is something I've been trying to work on. I know we've been trying to work on it, is being a little more intentful with what we have to say and more intentive with our time, where our energy is spent. And as much as like I'm really outgoing and extroverted, like I love my own personal time. I love being so introverted, and I love being alone, to be honest. And that's one thing that like for sure like I found a lot more peace in myself. I don't feel the need to have to talk to people every day, and I feel really good just being alone. I used to hate it, but yeah, we got to that point in that level. Cool. Anything else?
No, just thank you guys for, making our 8th episode happen. We appreciate it. And love you guys.
Cool. Anything else?
I'm shy.
Okay. Well, thanks guys for checking out our 8th episode. Peace.
Fucking awesome, bro.
Fuck yeah. This is dope.